Good morning
Good
and
morning.
welcome to a new episode of Coffee with the Librarian.
Hey Kim, good morning.
Hey, Lord.
Good morning.
Today is December 1st, 2025. Man, that year went by fast.
Flew by.
That means we had 12 Coffee with the Librarians.
We did.
Today will make number 12 a year.
How about
Oh,
that?
wait, no. We did the 4 during February.
We did. We did.
So, 12, 15 Coffee with the Librarians this year. We were
Give us a hand.
putting
Good
this.
job.
I want to say thank you to all of our viewers and thank you to all of our audience members who have consistently been a part of the show. We appreciate you all. So, this month is Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. I'm missing a couple. I apologize. But we do have holiday hours. So please go on our website and check out those holiday hours so that you're aware when we're open and when we're closed. Um, Also, we have several different programs going on for the holidays at all of our locations. Today at headquarters, we have a gift wrapping program going on. So if you don't know how to wrap those gifts, come check out our headquarters librarian, Marcus, so that you can learn how to wrap your gifts. Okay? I think that's all. That's all I have.
Okay. Were there any questions that were submitted online earlier?
Absolutely.
What do we have?
Wait,
Wait.
I got a new dress.
Uh-oh.
I like it. It has pockets. I just want everybody to know.
Looking fabulous. Looking fabulous.
It has pockets. Everybody should know that.
What do we have?
So our first question is, will there be another lit workshop we just had recently?
Wasn't that great?
It was.
Wasn't
I
that?
was so full, like not like from eating, but
Yeah.
from the interviews we had. I was very full. It was great.
For those who are listening online, we had a literary showcase last month, and it was the first that we had attempted in quite a while. We used to sponsor Indie Author Day years ago, and so this literary workshop was our version of an Indie Author Day, but it wasn't just for authors. We had illustrators, creators, publishers to come in. We had workshops, so it was a phenomenal event, and yes, we will be offering that again. We're looking at the time frame, maybe trying to sync that up with the summer reading program, but stay tuned for more information about that.
I'm excited. I will be there.
Same here.
Our next question is, are you all adding a new pass to replace the zoo pass? Like maybe the Atlanta Aquarium Pass is what they're looking for.
Is that what they're looking for?
They're looking for the Aquarium Pass.
Good question, and I don't have a good answer. Um, as most know, or hopefully know, the Georgia Public Library Service is the organization that brokered the deal with the Atlanta Zoo, which made the passes available for all public libraries across the state. And so that partnership has changed, and we don't know if it will come back in another version or if there are other partnerships that are currently being discussed. So stay tuned for that. It would be very nice if we could have a pass to go to the aquarium, but as relationships, partnerships develop, it has to be beneficial for both sides. And so I'm sure GPLS is looking at partners, and hopefully the aquarium is looking at partners as well, and they can come up with a mutual relationship.
I just want to go see the beluga whales. I love those things.
They're very nice.
They are. Well, that's all the questions I have for you today.
That's it?
Yeah,
Man,
that
piece
was
of cake.
quick, right?
Piece of cake. Well, good morning, everyone. Again, thank you so much for being here. I am Scott Parham. I'm the director for the Clayton County Library System. And welcome to another episode of Coffee with a Librarian. As Kim said, this is episode, I'm not sure for 2025, but having these monthly and sometimes several of them throughout the month, it's a highlight for me and staff. I do want to thank my staff for all of the hard work that they do behind the scenes. They don't get nearly enough credit and recognition for what they do. So again, kudos and thank you for all of you. So we have some special guests in the building today. Everyone is special, but this is the last one of the year, so they're super special today. And so we have some representatives from the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra in the house today. And so outside of our conversation, at the end of the conversation, we're going to have and be delighted and graced with some music by Michael today. And so stay tuned for that after we go through the the interview process. But we have Erin and Michael with us today from the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, and let's give them a round of applause. How are you doing today?
Good.
Great.
Really happy to be here. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you for being here. Schedules aligning so that you're able to be here. So let's just start off with the basics. Tell us about the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra. Well, let's backtrack. Tell us about your role in the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, Michael's as well, and then we can kind of get into some of the history behind the orchestra itself.
Yeah, sure. So I am the Senior Director of Sales and Audience Development with the ASO. So what that means is I do kind of your basic sales by making sure people are coming to our concerts, whether that's a single ticket or through subscriptions. But then my role has really evolved over the past couple of years to include that audience development element, which means really looking further into the community, into other partners, whether that be corporate or community partners, or creating certain memberships that benefit others in the community as well. So different special events or the memberships or even things like this and different partnerships like with Clayton County.
Very nice, very nice.
Special events doesn't begin to cover what she does. Tell them a little bit about your events that you've programmed.
Yeah, so we actually recently did a Visions of India festival. We've had 2 of those. And so that was in partnership with various guest artists who have come through.
Okay.
The first was Amjad Ali Khan. He's a very famous Indian classical musician. And then more recently with Kala Ramnath, who is a Hindustani violinist. And so we know that Atlanta is a melting pot and that we have a very, very strong Indian community in and around Atlanta. So I wanted to create a festival to create a really welcoming and celebratory environment in addition to our amazing musicians and part of that concert. So we had different food vendors, we had artists, we had Indian Dance Academy. So it was just this really beautiful kind of cultural immersive experience that culminated with the concert at the end.
Very nice, very nice. Tell us a little bit about the history of the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, when it was established, how many years in existence, things of that nature.
Sure. It actually, this is kind of one of those fun facts that you can have at a cocktail party. It actually started as a youth orchestra in the kind of mid to late 40s. And then it evolved to include kind of part-time musicians, and then eventually in the early 50s, full-time musicians. And since 1950 to today, it's just become this institution of incredible, brilliant musicians, conductors, and composers over the years who have local, certainly, but even international acclaim.
Very nice. And I also understand that you have won a Grammy.
27, actually.
Pardon me.
27.
Give it up. Absolutely. Outstanding.
Yes,
Outstanding.
and certainly, you know, they're not my Grammys, but the
Of
ASO
course,
has won the Grammys.
Of course.
And for a lot of different things. So the symphony is also really well known for its chorus. I've been in that chorus for 25 years, and that's an all volunteer chorus. So the ASO and chorus have received a lot of those Grammys for best choral performance, best orchestral performance, and a lot for engineering. Actually, there's a lot that goes into a recording, and we've had some really, really brilliant folks with us over the years who have won a lot of those Grammys for us as well.
Very nice. And I had a question later on about the chorus because that was something new to me, but thank you for that. Thank you. Yes.
Definitely.
I'm going to shift gears a little bit. Years ago, when my children were very young, we often played classical music for them at bedtime. Can you help explain or share some of the benefits of brain development with children and listening to music, classical music, other types of music? And then I'm going to shift on the other side of the spectrum. How does music assist or enhance seniors with memory loss or early onsets of dementia?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's actually this whole new kind of world that we are diving into within the Atlanta Symphony and the Woodruff Art Center abroad. I should mention the Woodruff Art Center is that big umbrella that has us and the High Museum and the Alliance Theater. And so we have all collectively really dove deep into a lot of this research and partnering with some of our other institutions like higher education, research partners around what your question is, which is how does music actually benefit the brain and
Right.
what does it do? So we all know that music makes you feel good. but knowing the science behind that, knowing that listening to live music collectively does lower cortisol. It lowers your stress. It can open your mind quite literally. So for children, listening to music early, and especially even playing music early, as the brain is developing, it actually enhances those neural pathways between your ear and your mouth. And so you can speak a little bit earlier. You can recognize sounds a little bit easier. And later on in life with those students, you find that when you're playing music, you do better in science, you do better in math. So not only are you doing well in maybe your choral class or your orchestral class, but you're doing better in science and math than those who are not engaging in music. So really it has these benefits all through life. And then when you're looking at, say, Parkinson's or dementia, I don't know how many of you maybe have seen videos of people, they go viral all the time, of someone who maybe doesn't know their own children,
Right.
but they can sit down at a piano and they can play a beautiful piece from memory without looking at anything, because that's just locked in to their mind. So we're trying to figure out exactly what that means and how we can kind of unlock that even more.
Okay.
So we're doing some studies right now with the Goizueta Emory Research Center to look at what that live music and the communal listening and participating in music actually does.
Very nice. And I'm going to come back to that because I've got a term here, neuro arts,
Mhm.
but I'm going to come back because I wanted to ask Michael, how did you get into playing the instruments that you play?
I started in public school. I grew up in Maryland, and I guess it was fourth grade. My mom said it's time to pick an instrument, and I wanted to play the one that got me the most attention.
Okay.
I was a tall kid, and they didn't have a bass player, so it was bass.
Very nice.
And I managed to be good enough at it to squeak by, and there weren't any other bass players, so I was the best one. It helped a lot.
By default.
Yeah. And my parents are very encouraging and helpful. My teachers are always very helpful, and stuck with it. And I kind of put all my eggs in that basket for college, and wished and hoped and got hungry and got a job.
Very nice. Very nice.
I've been with the ASO for 32 years now.
Wow. Are there other instruments that you play other than the bass?
Yeah, bass, guitar,
Okay.
some percussions. And I compose. I can hack my way through mandolin or ukulele or
Okay.
violin and cello.
Very nice.
He's
Okay.
being modest too. His
I'm
studio at
sure.
home
I'm
is
sure.
just
He said
filled
hack
with
his way
all
through, but-
kinds of instruments,
That
whether
helps.
they be ones he made himself or.
Really?
Those are fun, yeah.
That's a whole nother segment. That is.
Yeah, it really is. I should have brought some.
Oh, yeah.
But, they're sort of decorative more than playable. I
Okay.
guess.
Very nice. Very nice. So getting back to the neuro arts term, can you explain what that term is for us?
Yes, so actually, you all may have this book in your library, and if you don't, you should get it. It's by Susan McSalmon, and it's called Your Brain on Art. And there are a lot of books out there that are similar to kind of diving into this work, but it's really all about what happens to your brain, those neural
Mhm.
pathways that we were talking about, and what that does unlock when you are engaging with live arts. And that is, again, not just music. Certainly, I'm here to promote us, but in general, it's also, looking at a piece of art and what that does, and that it does lower those cortisol levels. It does reduce that stress. And the same with going to a theater performance and experiencing that collective joy or that sorrow, depending upon the work that you are listening to or watching. So it's really quite fascinating. We actually have just launched, Susan McSalmon has a whole neuro arts network and a neuro arts coalition. There's an academic side, the academic network, and then the Neuro Arts Coalition. And there are quite a few arts organizations around the country who are participating in this. And the Atlanta Symphony is now one of those new partners. And so it's really exciting. We just launched our Arts and Health Laboratory, and that's the Georgia Neuro Arts Coalition.
Wonderful. And Atlanta Symphony Orchestra's role in that coalition, highlighting and bringing awareness.
100%, yes, but also working with some research partners. So, just touching on the work with the Goizueta Alzheimer's Research Center and what we are doing. Last season, we had 50 patients and their caregivers come to our concerts, and we surveyed them afterwards. And then the second time was 150 patients and caregivers. And now Emory has submitted a grant with the Alzheimer's Foundation of America, and that's for the next 2 years. So what we're going to do is look at that collective progress over 3 years and see, does that slow that cognitive decline? Does it create an increased connection with that patient and caregiver, which sometimes is really hard, when you're constantly caring for someone 24/7, to be able to stop and have this collective experience together does increase that connection, and it makes it a lot easier for both the patient and the caregiver. And then also just looking at it over those 3 years, is there that cognitive decline? And especially with dementia patients in the afternoons, there's kind of that sundowning effect where there's that increased agitation and frustration. And so we're trying to look at that as well, because the concerts that they're coming to are Sunday afternoons. So coming to those concerts, does that actually make kind of the rest of the day easier? Is that something that we can do more and ongoing?
Very nice. And I have a surprise here coming around behind me here.
Oh,
Just a
no.
second. Bam!
Look at that.
Look at that.
Yay.
Look at that. Very nice. Now, it just needs to be checked out. So
Right. One of
we'll
you
make
can
sure
check
it's
it out
available.
today.
Absolutely.
Fascinating.
Very nice. Changing, pivoting again,
Sure.
if you'll allow me. I understand that there's a youth symphony orchestra.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that and how that came about?
Yes, for sure. So as we mentioned, kind of in that history part, that we did start out as a youth orchestra, but 50 years ago, officially, our now established youth orchestra was created. And every spring we have auditions, and we post those requirements, and we take auditions from kids all around the state, all around the country, and they perform with our musicians occasionally, and then they perform 2 or 3 times a season as well on their own. And a lot of those youth orchestra members also go on to other competitions around the country. And a lot of them actually perform with the National Youth Symphony Orchestra, which you also have to audition to get into that. And for the past several years, there's been more ASO students in that orchestra than any other. So it's a really fabulous, fabulous program. And it's a great feeder for, the remainder of their careers.
Sure.
And a lot of our musicians are actually youth orchestra alumni, which is really cool.
Very nice. Very nice. Now, are there talent development programs that you offer to help them along this way?
So actually what's great is the talent development program started 30 years ago by an amazing woman, Azira Hill, who just celebrated her 102nd birthday.
Oh my goodness. Happy
So
birthday. Yeah.
happy birthday, Azira. So if that doesn't tell you that music actually slows cognitive decline, she's just a brilliant, brilliant woman. She was born in Cuba, and she came to Atlanta. She was a nurse, and she met, who some of you may know, her husband, Jesse Hill. He was a big civil rights activist. The two of them were that ultimate power couple. And she loved classical music. And she said, there's a real lack of representation in this industry. And she wanted to create that beautiful pathway for Black and Latino students to have the same opportunities. And so our talent development program is actually now, it's really this beautiful preparation for conservatories, for those high-end music schools. And so those students work with our ASO musicians one-on-one. They have a lot of requirements. They have to constantly be practicing, constantly performing. They prepare for auditions across the country as well. And they also have several concerts throughout the season.
Very nice. Very nice.
And completely free.
Yes, and those are free, so you should come to those. They're amazing. The
Wow.
ASYO and the TDP concerts are absolutely incredible.
Very nice. Are they publicized or put on the
Yes,
website? Or
yeah.
okay.
So all of anything that we talk about today can be found on our website, which is aso.org. And a lot of these are really easy to find, like aso.org/TDP will get you to the talent development program. aso.org/ASYO will get you to the youth orchestra. And then we have our full calendar, which has all of our events, which is on our main page.
Very nice. And just in case anyone is wondering why we've asked them to come in today, we are working on finalizing a partnership with Clayton County Library System to be able to offer access to the symphony orchestra at no charge. And so stay tuned. Yes. And we we understand how important it is to our community to be exposed to resources and events such as the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra. So we are very happy and very excited at this partnership, and hopefully things will be all the T's crossed and I's
Yes.
dotted very soon.
too.
So yes, indeed. So this one is toward, question is toward Michael. What are some memorable moments that you've had with the Symphony Orchestra that you would like to share?
Yeah, it's almost like being asked what's your favorite piece of music. It's whatever I'm playing at the moment.
At the time, okay,
It's I remember last week. I
okay,
remember, I guess probably the highlights for me would have been as a composer, because I compose as well. And if, under a previous music director, Robert Spano, he commissioned me several times to write for the orchestra.
very
And
nice.
when you write music and you get to play it and hear it written and hear it played by the best colleagues in the world, it's beyond exhilarating.
Very
So
nice.
the highlights for me would definitely be when the symphony plays my music.
Absolutely.
So it's,
Anything-
it's sort of an easy answer, but
No, absolutely, absolutely. I can't imagine the gratification that you must have felt during that. Are there any other opportunities coming up to compose?
right now I'm focusing on my smaller work. Our current orchestra leadership is focusing on developing and perfecting our standard repertoire
Okay,
more than commissioning current composers.
got it.
And that's just sort of the way the pendulum swings sometimes.
Okay.
So I'm writing for my own chamber group a lot. We call the Ritterbunt Chamber Music Society.
Okay.
And also when commissions come in, I work on stuff. I've written for the ASYO, the youth orchestra as well. But
Keeping you busy.
yeah,
Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
there's always enough work.
Good. You touched on it a moment ago, Erin, but I'd like to kind of circle back around. We understand that the term DEI is kind of controversial, but you mentioned a moment ago about underrepresented populations being introduced to the orchestra, classical music. Can you kind of talk about Atlanta Symphony's mission or goal to, I don't want to say target, but to expose this wonderful resource to underrepresented communities?
Yeah, 100%. I think, I hate that we have to even say that DEI is sometimes not a great term. But, the way that I look at that is that doesn't mean the work has to stop. It just means, we're going to call it something different.
Right.
But it has always really historically been a part of the ASO's mission to make sure that we are representing the city in which we reside. I mean, Atlanta, you have half the population that identifies as Black, and we need to make sure that we have representation on our stage, representation in our audience, through our composers, through our guest artists. So that's really been important to us for decades. You can go back as far as, our predecessor, Robert Shaw, who came to Atlanta. He was known already for being this brilliant conductor, and especially a choral expert. And they were asking him where he kind of wanted to go, and he wanted to come to Atlanta because he wanted to be in the middle of the civil rights movement. He said, this is important, and good music should be a birthright. It shouldn't be something that is for the, elite or, any specific demographic. It should be for everyone. And so we really, over the years, had soloists. Again, we have a huge relationship with Morehouse Glee Club. They've been a part of our Christmas programs for years.
If you haven't heard Morehouse College and Spelman College's choir glee club, you're missing out.
Yeah, just in general, not even with us, but in general, yes.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yes, they're brilliant. But also just in general, over the years, having so many different guest artists and conductors has always been really important to us. And that's honestly why a lot of my role with audience development, that's kind of why we did that, knowing that you really need to have a position that is dedicated to ensuring that we are going out into various communities and having special events, creating memberships, creating opportunities that might not otherwise be there.
Nice, very nice.
And TDP is such a big part of that, too.
Yeah, huge.
Because without kids learning from professionals the skills they need, they're not going to be represented on stage.
Mhm.
So it's a TDP is such it's a jewel in our crown, honestly. It's a beautiful program.
Yeah, and it really began in a living room with Azira and those supporters and those musicians from the beginning who said, we want to do this. Even, before it became an ASO initiative, it was just important for our musicians to say, no, we really want to help develop the next generations of students. So it's really been a part of everything we believe in.
Very nice. Very nice. So in addition to being so gracious to come and speak with us today, what are some other holiday programs that Atlanta Symphony Orchestra will have this holiday season?
A lot.
Okay, just go to the website.
We're going to be very busy. No, I'm happy to talk about it. So one that's more immediate and it's for families. And we haven't touched on that quite yet, but we do have something for everyone, for every age group. So coming up on December 7th is this Sunday at 1:30 and at 3 o'clock. We have family programming called Deck the Halls. And that is for families and children roughly ages like 5 to 11, 12-ish. We have great, what we call activations in the lobby, like different games and interactive things to do before the concert. But that concert is kind of a celebration of holiday around the world.
Okay.
We always have different themes for our family concerts, but this holiday one is holidays around the world. So we will have some student dancers. We will have some other performers. Our ASO musicians will be there. So it's a great kind of a quick 45-minute time to spend with your family.
Nice.
So that's coming up. Our Christmas with the ASO, that's with our full chorus and our ASO musicians. And that we have 4 opportunities for that. That's December 11th, 13th, and 14th. And all of this is on our calendar. So if you're not taking notes, totally fine. And then we also have the full Messiah. That is on December 19th. And that's actually with our chamber chorus, which is an even more exclusive audition only as well subset of our larger chorus.
Okay.
So just a brilliant group of colleagues, I guess I can call them that. Beautiful musicians that sing Handel's Messiah in its entirety with our orchestra. So out for those. And then to round out the holiday season, we also have the 4 Seasons, which is Vivaldi's beautiful work. And David Chiron, who is our concert master, conducts and plays during that. So we have a lot.
Sounds
Something
good.
for everyone.
Very nice. Very nice. Lastly, in addition to providing physical resources such as this, how can the public library help musicians along their musical journey?
I think it's good to help with exposure in general and talking about musicians, having musicians come again to the library to just kind of, humanize it and know that it's not just, someone really kind of on a stage that isn't personable and how did they get there? It's kind of breaking that stigma and knowing that, we're just 2 people that really love classical music and we want to share that with everyone else. So I think having these books, having those kind of engagements, and sharing some of the opportunities that we have at the ASO is always good. And as I said, with live music, it's not just entertainment. It literally is good for your health. So the same reason you should go for a walk, you should go to a concert. You should listen to music and do so in that community environment.
Very nice. And that was one of the first questions that Michael asked coming in. Was it okay to play in the library? Because that stigma that you have to be quiet. My mindset philosophy is those are kind of dated norms. We have concerts. Again, we did the literary showcase. We have other events in here. We like noise. We like folks to come in and see what is going on and be curious and want to participate.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, following up with your Working Library Do question, you're a central connection point for folks who don't know where else to get resources.
True.
Maybe they don't have music in the schools. Maybe they can come to the library to find out, where do I go to rent an instrument? Where do I go to study? Who teaches private lessons right here? Where can I join a community orchestra?
Very nice. And with that, I think we're going to allow Michael to start playing a little bit here, if that's okay with the audience. Is that okay?
Okay, this I think I'm going to try to play something really, really hard. And it's early in the morning. So this is a piece I wrote for solo bass called Chromatocysticism, which is 2 notes. Levels okay? I realize I need better glasses. So tiny. More or?
Yeah, absolutely. Please, please.
I have some that I've written some, let's see. Here's one. It's also too hard for me, but I could try. A little bit flat. Here's one called Black, which is a piece I wrote for my students to learn how to thwack. Pardon me a second. Thwack. You know, thwack, right? Thwack.
Okay.
That's probably going to make the littles peak. Okay. All right.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you.
Time for more.
So
We have some
you said that
questions.
These were hard to do, so out of 0 to 10, what do you rate those, the difficulty of those pieces, the last two?
Oh boy, it's hard to say. There are different styles of bass playing. You know, there's the classical, where you use the bow and you play everything. They're very pretty. And then there's the more jazzy style, which obviously the stuff I played today was a little more in the jazz style. there are different techniques, there are different philosophies, and different things you can do. For a classical player, these are written for a classical player to learn how to play like this. They're basically etudes to study how to play better. A jazzer wouldn't find them difficult at all, probably, but a classical player might. So 1 to 10, I don't know, but I'll say for me, at this hour of the morning, not having warmed up, it's after sitting in traffic for a while, they're probably about an 11.
Oh, wow. Very nice. Very nice.
Just to be honest.
We've got more questions?
Yes. I just want to say real quick, I did go to the Atlanta Symphony a few weeks ago in October because I'm a big kid and I wanted to go to the family program that they had for Halloween. It took me over 15 minutes, literally on a Sunday, to get from my front door to the Atlanta Symphony. Also, once I got there, directly across the street was the MARTA station.
How about that?
So if you don't drive, you can catch the MARTA there. And I was very disappointed because it was only 45 minutes. And I was having a great time. And then they were like taking bows. And I'm like, what is this? So
That means you have to go back.
yes, I plan on going back several times. But I also wanted to mention that you had artists like T.I. and Jadakiss, yes,
Jeezy,
perform with the Atlanta Symphony. Do you have other artists like that coming up, or?
So we do have a lot of different genres. That was actually a branch that I didn't mention. So we have our ASO classical, but then we also have our Symphony Hall live. And so that's where we utilize Symphony Hall as a rental space. And so other artists who are not necessarily part of our classical programming will come in and they will sometimes play with our ASO musicians. Sometimes they will come in on their own. So we have everything from like a T.I., a Gucci Mane, a Jeezy, to like Jim Gaffigan, to Ben Folds, to the Kiev Nutcracker Ballet. So, I mean, we have all different types of genres, all different types of artists and comedians and book tours and everything. So there really is something literally for everyone at Symphony Hall.
Very
Coming
nice.
up this Christmas season, Symphony Hall Live, Trisha Yearwood is going to be there.
Trisha Yearwood's going to be
Celtic
there.
Woman.
Yep.
We just had a concert with Cody Fry,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know what's coming up in the new year, but
Yeah,
Nice.
always something
This
at the hall. I
partnership's
think
gonna be very
it's
nice.
rare that our hall is what we call dark, where there's nothing going on. There's pretty much something there every night of the week.
Nice.
So, Michael, I have this question for you more. So, I know you have like Randy Newman, you come in. So, when you have a composer like that, is it hard to work with somebody who does the thing that you guys are doing, or is it like easier? Do you find it easier? Is it kind of like, you know, like he's doing his own music, like he's doing Toy Story music or something? Are you guys coming in and say, okay, we're just gonna phone it in, play exactly what he wrote, or is it like he gives us space to kind of?
I will say some of my colleagues don't like the pop artists concert as much.
It's kind of probably hard to do
They're
that.
some of my favorite concerts, honestly.
Really?
Yeah. When I get to there's one of my favorite bands from high school is called the Violent Femmes.
Okay.
We did a Violent Femmes concert.
Yeah.
It's my favorite concert ever. I brought in my albums to have the singer autograph them.
Right.
Because I knew all the songs by heart. I'm singing along while playing the concert. It was so much fun for me. The music I don't know, like I wasn't as familiar with Young Jeezy's music,
Okay, right.
but the concert it was insanely. It was
Right.
so much fun. I forgot to play some because I'm
Right. Gucci Man, when they had the orchestra and the chorus thing, Gucci Man, and I was like, I'm sorry, Rick Ross. And I saw the thing, I said, oh my God, I wonder how was that for the orchestra, because he was giving you guys a lot of love. I saw
Rick
that.
Ross. Not to correct you, but that was a different orchestra.
Right. But how does that work?
Well, that was for me. That was a fun joke because I wrote the music for them.
Oh,
great.
wow.
I
That's
got hired by
incredible.
Rick Ross folks to do the orchestrations for
Right,
some of
right,
the
right,
songs.
right.
So that was lucrative for me.
Yeah.
A little bit and fun too. It was a little bit out of my wheelhouse because some of the lyrics are not really all that singable in public.
Understood.
But it was I had a blast doing it.
Nice.
some of my church that got recycled, they're Rick Ross did the show again with I think Columbus, Ohio, or something. And I made a little bit more off of that too.
Okay.
Very nice. Collaboration.
Yeah.
Collaboration.
That's
Very
what
nice.
it's all about. Collaboration. For me, collaboration is so much more than one-on-one with a guest artist or one-on-one with a composer or a commissioner or something. It's about the full circle of like when a composer has an idea and they think this is going to resonate with somebody, and somebody's going to get some value out of this emotionally, and then the orchestra, the conductor and the orchestra, they find that same resonance, and they fill in a little bit more of this of the whole collage with the way it resonates with them, and the audience sits there and it resonates with them, and there's this whole beautiful circle of just harmonic resonance and beauty that's transferred from some gray-haired guy in a studio writing down notes to you sitting in the seat there.
Right.
And it comes through everybody involved in the whole process, and you get that resonance and you feel it, and it just makes you want to. I don't know. It's so exciting.
Nice. You got another question?
Thank you. A comment and a question. My name is Sylvester Pierce. Thank y'all so much for coming through, and thanks Clayton County and the library for hosting. Do you all play with the plays when, like Phantom of the Opera and whatnot? Do you all play with them?
Our schedule keeps us too busy to do a lot of extra stuff like that. When Phantom of the Opera comes, or when like the Nutcracker or whoever, there's a whole cadre, a whole big fleet of freelancers in Atlanta that do a lot of that work.
Gotcha.
And so we're grateful for them, and we collaborate with them on stuff sometimes, but mostly most of the touring shows that come through, they bring their own orchestra or they bring their own set of freelancers with them.
To what you were saying about working with the other artists, like Ben Folds 5 is one of my favorite bands.
Oh, yeah.
Got a chance to meet Ben Folds too. But that was an introduction that we had as kids to symphonic music, which went into being able to build some of our own. And then friends of mine went into music and got to see that this really is across the spectrum. You can do anything, and like you said, be very lucrative with it. So thank y'all for the work.
I said a little bit.
My question now, you mentioned that you all work with caregivers and those with Alzheimer's through Kurth. I didn't see it on the site. Before you leave, can I get a link for it? We work with some families on both ends of the spectrum, or the family members that have or they are dealing with dementia and Alzheimer's, and for those who are caregivers. And I would really love for them to be able to come to some of your performances.
Yeah, for sure. We can. So the group that was coming specifically with Kurth is part of a research study. So we'll email each other and we'll see if we can get you connected with some of that work, which would be great. Yeah, and I also do want to mention, I didn't get a chance to earlier, is we also have a program called Amplify, and that is anybody that's on any sort of Georgia financial public assistance can sign up for that program and come to our concerts for free. So if you have anyone in the community that you know that might benefit, like please encourage them to sign up. They can come to pretty much almost all of our classical concerts throughout the season. And basically you sign up, it's like a membership. You get an email that says, hey, this concert's coming up, go ahead and RSVP and grab your seat. And then you just come in and you scan your ticket and it's great. So that's another opportunity as well that's for free access.
My mistake. It was on here.
Oh, no, that's okay.
It just got kind of buried, but yes. Thank you.
As a marketing and salesperson, I have to
You
mention
got to
it.
get it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Rebecca.
Hi, thanks for coming. I love orchestras all around the world. Michael, if you could only play one piece of music for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Uh-oh.
Bach's B minor Mass.
Very sure of that one. Nice.
Easy answer.
Would you mind playing it?
It's from chorus and orchestra.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think I've ever played the entire thing,
Okay.
actually.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it's when the B minor Mass is performed, it's done with a very small orchestra and a small chorus usually. So when we have it on our schedule, we have 7 bass players on staff. Only 2 of them get to play it, and I've never been one of them. But I did study the work extensively in college. In fact, the funny thing was, my music history professor said, our final exam is an essay. You have two choices of questions. You answer why Handel's Messiah is the best piece of, is the culmination of all music up to that point, or why is Bach's B minor Mass the culmination of all music at that point? And if you choose Messiah, you only get a C because you're wrong.
Nice.
Nothing against the Messiah. But B minor Mass is just the most thoroughly captivating, emotionally just surrendering, and academically brilliant thing. It's stunning.
And our course is looking forward to that in the spring too. So
Yeah.
coming
Nice.
up.
Very nice. Thank you.
And I'm sure you can get a recording of it here in the library.
There we go. As soon as we leave here, you're gonna find it.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here. We have quite a few band geeks on staff here. Quite a few. As we get older, we're noticing that the participation for bands is going down, especially like at the high school level. Can you take a moment, question one, can you take a moment to kind of explain how important the arts are and how they play towards development, especially for youth, and kind of the benefits that they can provide? And then the second question is, do you all have a repository for individuals that are looking to take music lessons? Maybe recommendations or things of that nature?
Yeah, a lot of our musicians do have private lessons opportunities. I don't know that we have that on our website anywhere. I can look into that for you. But certainly just, it's always unfortunate that, whenever there's a budget cut, it's like, oh, let's cut the arts. And we know full well that should be the one sustaining thing because it benefits all other areas. And, just as I mentioned earlier, students who are in band, they're less depressed. They feel a stronger sense of connection to others. They have lower stress. They perform better in other areas. They're less likely to use drugs and alcohol. That's not just an anecdote, that is scientifically proven. And they're less likely to abuse drugs or alcohol as an adult. So it's really, music is laying that foundation on so many different levels, more confidence, just all the way across the board. So any way that we can encourage students, we have a lot of field trips. I think there are some magnet schools around here, right? Like some art schools around here. Sharing that information with those schools and saying, come to these field trips, it's really fascinating. There was a whole field trip study with the University of Arkansas with the ASO and the Alliance that talked about that long-term benefit of students coming. And, students, you'll see, even if you ask in the schools and you say, okay, your students who were in band, maybe their next class is history. You'll notice that those students who came from the music class into history were more focused. They were more attentive. They're more likely to participate because of all those good endorphins and all of this neuroactivity that's going on. They are better students throughout the rest of the day because of that. So if you ever get a chance to look at that field trip study, I can maybe send you a link to that. It's absolutely fascinating. And that gives you all of the research that you need to know that is 100% important for a child and a young adult's development. 100%.
That's where I went wrong. Yeah.
I heard a rumor from a parent of a student that a certain technical college in Atlanta was increasing their arts program and their arts curriculum because they're finding that graduates who've only studied STEM, science, technology, engineering, math curriculum, are not getting hired because they don't have the creative background. They haven't been encouraged to develop that part of their whatever's in there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Hi, good morning. Definitely want to tell you guys, thank you very much for coming. It was a surprise to me, so I happily made my way over here to hear what's going on. I just wanted to say, as a parent, for anybody who has children who are interested in music, to definitely take advantage of the program that you were talking about for the children, for Youth Symphony Orchestra. My son, we did that with him. He grew up here in Clayton County going to school. He was in music in orchestra playing the bass before Stillwell, when they were thinking about Stillwell. And he is currently in the process of getting his bachelor's in music at Clayton State. And
That's awesome.
he had the opportunity in 2012 to audition for Into the Woods.
Mhm.
When you guys had the Youth Symphony Orchestra, I think that was like the first year you may have done that. And he got a chance to be one of the bass players in the two orchestras that were
That's so
playing.
cool.
So that
Full
was a very
circle.
wonderful experience. So for anybody who does have children who may be interested, definitely check this out because he was also able to take part of the other competitions and was highly ranked. So I
That's so
definitely encourage
fantastic.
it. So
Good
thank
for you,
guys
Mom.
Very
for
nice.
coming out.
Yeah.
If you ask any kid who grew up playing music, what was their most memorable experience of their life? Not just musically. They'll almost always mention, when my youth orchestra, when we marched in that parade together, before the big game, or when we got to go to California or Hawaii, or when I was in Baltimore youth orchestra growing up, we got to go to Holland. And for a kid from Baltimore, like 15 years old, go to Holland.
Yeah.
It's amazing that I get to do that. And without music, it wouldn't have been part of my life and my experience. But it's meant so much. So I hope your son always remembers getting to play that Into the Woods, and when he gets his bachelor's from Clayton State, he's going to join a band or. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Nice.
I heard that he's getting his bachelor's degree to be a teacher.
Yes.
Well, good morning. I really enjoyed hearing about the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra. I'm a native of Atlanta, so my dad would take us when we were younger. And fun fact, I played the clarinet.
Ooh, me too.
Yeah. So I was very excited, but also I was in choir throughout my high school and some in college. And so I heard you mention there's a choir. Can you talk about the choir? How can we volunteer?
Oh, yes, please, let me tell you all about it. Okay. You gave me the platform. Okay. So I've been in the symphony chorus for 25 years. And I started when I was still in college, and I have loved every minute of it. There's 180 roughly of us. So if you take the amount of rehearsals that we have, and then you multiply it by all of those individuals, we have about 10,000 hours worth of volunteer time that we do every season, which, they say 10,000 hours makes you an expert. So I'm just saying.
There we go.
But the chorus is really fascinating. We do auditions every August. So be on the lookout. In August, I will give you my email. And we will post it online as well on our website. We have a basic theory test. We have an audition. We do sight reading, all of that. And it's really an unbelievably rewarding group of people. And we all many of us have been in it for decades. I'm a kind of the baby still compared to some who've been in it since the beginning. But it's really just this beautiful melting pot of teachers, music directors, doctors, sales reps. I mean, we have all of our regular professional lives, and then we come and enjoy this. Every Monday night we rehearse. We perform with the orchestra probably 5 or 6 times per season. And we usually perform, our concerts are typically Thursday and Saturday evenings for the most part, and then the occasional Sunday matinee. And so the orchestra and chorus will perform together for those. We have not recently, but in the past, we used to travel quite a bit, and we were, very internationally known. And so we've had a lot of great memories. You talk about having the opportunity to travel. I mean, for me, like life moment was going to Berlin with the chorus. And then we were singing the Brahms Requiem in German to, one of the best orchestras in the world playing for us. And it was just the most fascinating, rewarding experience of my life. I mean, it just has opened so many doors, and it's a lot of fun.
Thank you. We have a lot of talented individuals here in Clayton County.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. We have a lot of talent here in Clayton County, so we want to put this out to the community.
100%.
That's right. So that our community will be represented in the
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta Symphony Orchestra. So we're excited, and you never know, you might see me.
Yes, please do. Seriously, it's every August. Anybody who wants to audition, come and audition. It's so much fun, and A lot of our chorus members will be there during the audition process to answer questions, make people feel comfortable. It's just so wonderful. We just absolutely love it.
What percentage of the chorus do you think sings in either community choir or the church choir locally?
I mean, probably 80%. Yeah, I would say a lot are also professional musicians, like in their churches, for example, or, they sing elsewhere as professional musicians. So although it's a volunteer chorus, it's at a professional level, for sure.
Deputy, I think I heard a little something when you said me. Can I hear that one more time? Me.
I got a question for you. So this is kind of both of you. I know probably not so much for you, Erin, but Michael, do you have a lot of doubling? Like, do you double a lot, or is that just one of those, like, I just play bass, that's it?
Doubling, you meaning like another instrument?
Right.
Yeah.
Do they ask you to double?
Yeah. Well, if they need a bass guitar, I'm the bass guitar player.
Is that required for a lot of the?
No,
not really.
No. So if I didn't do it, they'd hire somebody else to do it. But
I know you don't probably sing.
No, I'm just for soprano. Just for soprano. Yep. If you ever come, I'm always the top left.
I got a funny story though. One time, under a previous guest, assistant conductor named Jerry Flint, we had a concert in Roswell Park, and one of the pieces he put on the concert was "Love's Theme" by Barry White. And he doesn't know much about, he didn't know much about pop music production. But he said, "Hey, Michael, I know you play bass guitar. There's this sound on this Barry White song. He goes, waka, waka, waka. Can you do that on bass?" I said, "Well, yes, but really you need electric guitar for that."
Right.
And he said, "But can you do that?" I said, "Yes, I can." So I went out and bought a wah pedal that day. And so I just dead strum. Like this. Oh, sorry. And work the pedal.
Good job.
Nice.
Made my Atlanta Symphony electric guitar debut on Love's Theme.
There we go. Very nice. Very nice. We have another question?
Yes, we do.
So my son had the privilege to go to Unidos. It's a dual language school in Forest Park, and there was a music teacher who had a music program for these elementary kids, and he would, gather instruments and have these kids playing. Was where my son fell in love with the trumpet. And that trumpet was not just music for him, it was therapeutic for him.
Sure.
And so he now wants to have a program where he can collect instruments and really introduce kids to, playing jazz. He loves jazz.
Mm-hmm.
He's 20 years old, and he loves jazz. And introducing kids to instruments as little people, because that part, of course, most music programs are cut from elementary schools. So I'd love to, see what sort of connections he can make, because I keep encouraging him to do this. It's soul work, to be able to introduce the babies to instruments and to find those kids that will continue with them. So they're not just getting it in middle school or in high school. My son graduated from Stillwell, my daughter is there. Stillwell is our school of the arts here in Lake County. And so my son graduated from there, my daughter is there, she plays the trumpet. It's beautiful to see what the music exposure does. So I'd love to connect and just talk about that part of having it at the elementary schools, or even places like the library where, someone could come and they could introduce their child to instruments and music as younger kids.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that. And I'm going to steal that phrase, soul work. I think that is so significant, because it warms the soul and does so much internally. And so I hope you don't mind if I borrow that phrase.
That's one thing I take issue with when folks say music makes your brain, makes kids smarter. We went through this whole thing years ago. They call it the Mozart effect. And playing your kids Mozart at bedtime or something was supposed to make them smarter. Yes, it maybe makes you smarter. It makes you better. It makes your heart grow.
Yeah.
It makes you more beautiful, and that's all you need. I mean, it doesn't need any more justification than that. If you come and you sit in a concert, you listen to something that I wrote or that any composer wrote that finds a place in your heart and makes it expand. What more justification do you need? It's worth it. It's just worth it for all kids to grow up knowing that feeling.
Agreed. Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, Erin and Michael, for being with us today, sharing your story, sharing a little bit of information about the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra. Thank you for the audience, for your questions, for your comments. I'm sure we may have some that came in online. No? Everyone is just blown away. I get it. I get it. But thank you again. Happy holidays.
Yes,
We
thank
hope
you.
again to see you very soon.
Yes.
And until the next time, thank you again for tuning in to Coffee with the Librarian, and have a wonderful, wonderful holiday season.
Yes,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.